Okay, so this is a Ridgid cable, I think. Pretty sure there's a Ridgid cable. I want to show you what happens if you cut it with without soldering. I don't know if you caught that on camera. Oop, see it untwisting? I didn't cut all the way through either. There's still some holding it. The whole thing just like unsprung. Let's see what happens if I cut the other side. And you can't really tell, but I watched it uncoil as I cut it. I mean, now look at it. You can like pull it apart. That's why the Ridgid cable, you have to solder it. Oh, the whole, I don't know if you'll be able to see in there, but the whole inner part came out. See, there it is. I don't know if it's hot. So that's what happens. The like inner layer comes apart. That's why in the Ridgid cable you have to clamp it down and you have to solder it. Otherwise it'll come apart. Like it'll look like that. I got tons of them here. That's what happens. That's why on the Ridgid cable, I use these on the Ridgid cable for any repairs. And the MAP gas. I mostly run Plumber-Tools cable. This black cable, that cable does not do that. I did just do a repair on this one, only because it was starting to stretch a little bit. But I'll do the same test just so you see I'm not making this stuff up. Probably really hot. But see this, I can't pull it apart. And it's still like, well, it's really hot, but it's still really strong cable. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's not pulling the inner part apart. I don't know what they do different. Ooh, that was hot. But just the plumber tool cable doesn't do that. I don't know. It's good stuff. That's why I buy it. I buy the Ridgid stuff too, but I like to I like to use the Ridgid in the 102 only because it's more flexible. Like this is the 102 cable, as you can see it. That's what I did there too. Same thing. And you can see that. Well, this one's missing. But I mean, this stuff is freaking strong. It's hard to bend. And this is the Ridgid 102 cable. I mean, you can pretty much flip it all the way around, no problem. But I'm just trying to give you guys an example of what these cables do. But I think this might be a Plumber-Tools cable, but it doesn't matter what cable you have. It can fail. I kind of think this might be a Ridgid because it's pretty flexible. But oh, it's definitely a Ridgid. I don't know if you can see, but that's soldered. But yeah, you can use whatever you want to use. I just prefer the Plumber-Tools cable. I think it's cheaper and it seems to be stronger, so that's why I use it. So.